We have some major breaking news. It has been announced that Erik Jones has been disqualified from the NASCAR Cup Series race at Martinsville. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. As I just said a second, we got some pretty massive major breaking news this evening, as it has been announced that Erik Jones has been disqualified from the NASCAR Cup Series race at Martinsville Speedway. The reason that Erik Jones was disqualified from the Cup Series race at Martinsville was because he failed to meet minimum heights and minimum weight. This is the first time, I believe, in the NASCAR Cup Series this year that we have seen a disqualification. This also, I believe, is the first time we've seen a disqualification in the Cup Series since Alex Bowman last year, which, of course, affected the championship in a big way because Joe Logano benefited from that and, of course, went on to win the Cup Series championship because a bunch of weight fell out of the car, I believe, at the Roval last year. But this also is the second disqualification all three series combined because we all remember Parker Kligerman had technically won the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Daytona, but he had been disqualified for the same situation and the minimum weight. Now, for Erik Jones, this is definitely unfortunate, but Erik Jones, of course, didn't have the best day overall at Martinsville Speedway. He had crossed the line in 24th place. I would not think that they are going to appeal this because, one, it wasn't a really good finish. Erik Jones, he finished in the back of the pack, but it's really unfortunate for Erik Jones because Erik Jones has had an up-and-down season. He's had some solid runs throughout the year so far, but it hasn't been the best start for the organization and team. And now you have a team that really has struggled at times to start this season, failing post-race tech. Because of that, none of the top results change. For those wondering about Denny Hamlin and all the top finishers, none of the top finishers are affected. So Denny Hamlin passed post-race tech. He is still the winner of the race. Guys like Christopher Bell, Bubba Walsh, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, Ryan Preece, Joe Logano, Chase Briscoe, all those guys are good to go, and they're not going to be in danger of losing their positions. But this does actually have some pretty big significance in the standings because with Erik Jones being disqualified and being credited with the 38th place finish, this means that, one, you have Alex Bowman, who moves up a little bit. You also have Chris Busch, who moves up from 25th up to 24th, so he improves the position a little bit. Same with John Hunter Nemechek, who moves up to 25th after crediting with the 26th originally. Brad Keselowski moves up a spot, so he at least gets a better finish this time around. And Alex Bowman finishes 27th. And this is really significant because now Hendrick Motorsports actually has the top four in the standings currently at the moment. Technically, Alex Bowman is tied with Christopher Bell in the standings currently at the moment right now. But because of this penalty for Erik Jones, I think for the first time in Hendrick Motorsports history, in the history of that organization, they currently hold the top four in the standings right now. Bell will get the tiebreaker, of course, because he does have the wins and Bowman doesn't have the wins. But it just shows how strong Hendrick Motorsports season has been. But it's not just that at this point. Justin Haley moves up from 29th to 28th position. Noah Gragson moves up from 30th to 29th. Cody Ware moves up from 31st, gets a top 30. Riley Herbst goes from 32nd to 31st. Josh Berry, who had an abysmal day today after his battery issues, he goes from 33rd to 32nd. Cole Custer goes from 34th to 33rd. Shane Van Gisbergen improves a position 1, just a terrible day for SVG, but he finishes 34th. Casey Mears gets a top 35 in his return because of that. Burt Myers finished 36th. Austin Cindric finished 37th, and Erik Jones finished 38th. I believe this also is not the first time Erik Jones has been disqualified from a NASCAR Cup Series event. Erik Jones actually did get disqualified after, I believe, a Richmond race in 2019. Either was the fall or the spring race. I can't remember exactly because it's been 6 years. But I believe Erik Jones was the first driver to get technically disqualified in the disqualification era since they started doing it in 2019. But now you got a driver who's done it once or twice. We've seen drivers like Sam Mayer have it happen to them. We've seen other drivers like Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch who both lost their really good win positions. And Hamlin, of course, lost the race. And Chase Elliott got credited with the win because of that. But it's a massive deal, right? Because Erik Jones and a legacy team, they're not the fastest team in the world. And you need as many good positions and good finishes as you can have. And to have a disqualification like that, it is really disappointing for the team and organization. I feel terrible for Erik Jones, right? Because Erik Jones, I think, is a very solid driver. And again, I think Legacy's been trending in the right direction. Their qualifying speed has been a lot better this year. And they've had overall much better pace at times. They haven't had the finishes always to show for, but they've had more speed in recent times. So it's definitely unfortunate to see a team like Erik Jones have issues like this and get disqualified. And again, what's really frustrating for Erik Jones too is Erik Jones is the driver who loses all his positions because the team were the ones who mess with it. Again, we're just going to have to wait and see if Legacy does decide to appeal it, but If this was like a win for the team and they finish up front like the top 5, I would think they would appeal it, but because, like I've already mentioned, that they finished in the back of the field tonight, they probably aren't going to appeal it, unfortunately, and because, again, they didn't go for the win tonight, and they didn't have a chance to win the race because they struggled most of the day, finished, I believe, a lap down in this race, they won't probably appeal it at this point. Again, though, it's a really tough break and a really tough situation for Erik Jones and the Legacy Motor Club team. They, of course, had some major sponsorship changes and some major sponsor turmoil that happened recently with Dollar Tree and Family Dollar splitting this week. And now you've got this situation where they have a disqualification. Sometimes these teams want to push it to the edge and they want to try to make moves to make their cars a lot better and a lot faster and a lot stronger. And sometimes you go a little bit over the edge and you cost yourself a chance at a good run. Again, it wasn't a good run for the team today. It's kind of very similar when Matt DiBenedetto got disqualified last year and he got a pretty big penalty for that and got affected because of it. But again, I feel for Erik Jones, right, because again, it hasn't been the best start to the year for this team. They've had flashes, they've had really good qualifying runs, but they haven't had the overall pace to contend this year, and they just haven't been up front on a very major consistent basis, and it's been kind of a struggle for Legacy over the course of the last couple of years. And you're not even really sure at this point how much longer Erik Jones is going to be in that number 43 car in the first place. You think about Corey Heim on the way up. I'm not saying he's going to get replaced by Corey Heim at this point because Corey does have a development deal with 2311 Racing. But at this point, if you're Legacy, do you switch over to Dodge if they come in at this point? Because that certainly is possible because he may not have any of these tech issues going forward. But again, a really unfortunate and sucky situation all involved. We've seen other drivers in recent years get affected. Corey Heim got disqualified last year for loose lug nuts. And again, you've had other teams get disqualified. Kevin Harvick got disqualified after Talladega, and they were going to appeal it, but because of some of the work with the next-gen parts, they didn't basically appeal it. And then you had Ryan Blaney, who originally got disqualified at Las Vegas last year, 2 years ago in the fall, but they actually won their appeal and got that appeal revoked. So it's a major situation there. Tough break for the teams involved, and I feel for Erik Jones because he got a penalty, and he wasn't the guy working on the car, and it sucks that he got a penalty for it. So, that is going to be our tonight's major breaking news on Erik Jones getting disqualified. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, that does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. List description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. Your thoughts about Erik Jones getting disqualified after the Cup race here at Martinsville. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and do you think they will appeal the penalty or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we're going to have a NASCAR news video discussing over the course of the last couple days. We're going to talk about Kyle Busch and some interesting stuff he revealed before the broadcast. We'll talk more about this disqualification that happened. We'll also talk about Jesse Love making his Cup debut and some of the stuff and the tragedy from the Xfinity Series race that happened yesterday. We're going to talk about people like Hailie Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carlos, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch later this week, Bubba Walsh, Sheldon Creed, Sam Mayer, Connor Zilic, Junior Motorsports, Casey Mears as well with his performance today. We're also going to have other content dropping later this week. Tuesday, we're going to have a look at the interest more than likely, and we should have the truck review dropping as well. So I think all three series are racing this weekend. I'm pretty sure with the triple, actually no, trucks I don't think is racing this weekend, so I think they're off. So we're probably going to have the interest video dropping, some other content dropping as well. Maybe a silly season update, who knows at this point. And on Thursday, we're going to be taking a look at the throwback paint schemes as well. Got a lot of great content dropping that I cannot wait for you guys to check out. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.